Good morning, everyone. Welcome to In the Name of Jesus. We are your host, Johnny Herrera, and
Maria Montes.
I hope everyone has had a blessed week. Cesar will be speaking today. We'll be giving the word. He's going to be talking about fellowshipping. Right now, we have some youth that went to I forgot the name of the conference, but it was a youth conference, and a lot of young people gave their lives to Christ. It's just so awesome when I hear about that, because I was 37 when I did that, and to hear like I ran into the parishioner here, her son he's like 12, had given he made a decision to give his life to the Lord. And nobody like bugs them or
Yeah, it's just a simple ask during the service.
Do
right?
they
But
actually?
it's not. Yeah, I think so. Typically at the end of service or something. But nobody's like standing right there. Like,
No, nobody goes to them directly, right?
No.
And at Vacation Bible School here, which I help in, there was some kids in my class. I was doing a third, fifth grade, and they approached us and said, "Hey, I made a decision," and nobody even really asked. Just throughout Vacation Bible School, they were telling them, this and that, and they just approached us and said, "I want to give my life over to the Lord," and it was like these kids, I'm like, how does this happen? Where does this come from?
I know. I think God has a special place in His heart for children too.
Sure.
Definitely.
Because what if they're not legal?
Yes, even the illegal.
No, that can't be.
Even the illegal children.
I know. I'm just picking on contemporary issues.
Yeah.
But as an atheist, I thought, oh, well, they're just brainwashing the kids, and they just they forced or they tell the kids or they peer pressure the kids, but it's not like that at all.
And rarely do you. I mean, being in church for all my life, rarely have I ever heard anybody tell kids or, talk a lot about hell, you're going to hell, and you know what I mean? So I don't feel like that's a persuasion tool at all. Like,
I grew up in the Catholic Church, and because the Catholics love me again, because I pick on them, but I did hear that in Catholic school a lot. And
see, I went to Catholic school
did you?
too, and I didn't.
You didn't hear that?
It was just
maybe you were better behaved than I was.
I think I was. Probably.
Oh.
So what are we talking about today?
I don't know. Well, we're talking about the word, and I got in trouble last week for my little comment about Maria's friend Cassandra's here. Cassandra,
we're gonna gang up on Johnny. Yes. No.
we need to bring some more. I'll tell you. We had some men who went to a men's conference at Tony Evans No Excuses men's conference, and they were talking about men and no excuses, and we need to step it up and all this stuff. But before we started, I prefaced with a little pet peeve of mine, where women I always see talking about what real men are supposed to do. Like anytime I hear what real men are supposed to do, who's talking about it, it's a woman. It's never a man saying, it's always a woman talking about that. And at the same time, I never hear a woman talking about, well, real women should do this and that. Which, I'm sorry, people who got mad at me, but that's what should happen. I need to talk about what a real man should do. I need to focus on that. I need to think about, am I being a man of the Lord? Am I doing what the Lord wants me to do? And then you, in turn, women and Maria, doesn't need to be focusing on what Johnny needs to do or what Sasha, her boyfriend, needs to do. She needs to focus on what Maria needs to do, right?
Yeah, and I think instead of using the term real man or real woman, or I think we should change it to godly. What should a godly woman be doing? What should a godly man be doing? What does that look like in today's, in today's society that is so skewed? And so we're going to get into that a little bit, and I haven't even really prepared or thought about that, but I'm sure
you have some thoughts.
I'm sure you have some
I'm sure you have some thoughts too.
So, and just, and
hey, but let me ask you, because I went back and looked at the video again, and it was just that one comment, and the rest of the show was about
men.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why I got in so much trouble. Like women got mad at me, and
I think maybe because women feel like there are a lot of women already kind of doing what they should do. Maybe they feel that way, and typically you see more of absentee fathers than you do absentee. You know what I mean? So maybe it's that.
And the women that got on to me, I know their situation a little bit, and they're like both of them, like well, two of them are like great mothers, and the fathers are, they could use the conference, they could use to step it up, they could use maybe some conviction or something. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah. And you're not an absentee father also, so you kind of.
I was
doing what you're supposed to be doing too.
Yeah, and I was talking to you about that, and we might get Harper, my daughter's mom, to come on and talk about us getting along, because we didn't always get along. We do now though, but I feel like I don't know what I do to be called a good dad. Like, I love my daughter, I pick her up on my weekends, and I spend time with her.
You do what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
It's not a big deal, and everybody's like, "You're a great dad," and even her side of the family is tells her what a great dad I am, and I know it gets on her nerves because she busts her little. She just works hard. Yeah. Every day she works hard, and here I go and pick her up and take her to see Maleficent or whatever. They're like, "What a great dad!" And I know,
and you're like,
"What?"
Because see, you're just doing what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she's got to wake her up.
So many single fathers don't do that.
Don't even do that. So the standards are so low.
Exactly.
And let's a guy like me come along and get Father of the Year or whatever. But meanwhile, the mothers, and Cassandra knows a little bit about this. You guys wake up every day. And like Leslie, Harper's mom, I know it's a little bit of effort to wake Harper up. It's a little bit of effort to get her to
Harper's
eat.
not a morning person like me. Yeah, I'm not the only one.
No.
Only she's young, and I should be a morning person.
Yeah. Well, it takes effort to get Harper to anything Harper doesn't want to do, which is pretty much a lot of things she's supposed to do. Eat her vegetables. Not eat so much sweets.
Do her homework every night.
Clean her room. Oh, all of that. Oh, it's such a big effort with Harper. and Leslie does this every day, and she's just an amazing mother. Leslie is. She's just.
And there's mothers that do it all by themselves, like Cassandra, who's a friend of mine sitting here. You can't see her, but she does it all by herself, completely.
She does.
Yes, with a 2-year-old. Is he 2 yet? Almost 2. Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? Okay, I guess on that note, let me say, I there's a lot of these mothers out there, and God bless them.
And we talked about that on the show, how it's easier for men to just be like, well, the mom's got it, and just
Yeah.
So it is easier, but what we want to get into is talking about women, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
We don't want to focus on men again. We did that last week, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you focus on it a lot.
You can make suggestions. So.
Yeah, I
can. What are some things? I mean, I can think of some things right now that come to mind really quickly. I feel like as godly women, we should be a little more, or a little less, kind of not obsessed, but a little less targeted on finding someone.
Yeah.
I think we spend a lot of our time as women like, oh, I need somebody. And men are kind of like, y'all are kind of okay by yourselves.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm good, whatever, I don't really need a woman, even though you do, because the Bible says it's not good for a man to be alone.
Okay.
But, so you do need that helpmate. That's God's perfect plan, is that a man is the strength and the head, but the woman is the helper. And that's almost together they make perfect.
And then I will say, and I'm probably getting in trouble for this, but the women I've come across, it's more about they size me up. What can this guy do for me? It's never about what can I contribute here to this person. It's just like you said, women feel like they need, and I guess biblically they do, but it's off balance because men don't feel this way as much as women do.
Yeah.
And so it's like I need a man, and they look for these things, and it's like it's almost like men look for a job. Am I right about that?
I think so.
Like men look for for a job, women look for a man.
And I explain this too about in the book Captivating. You know, it talks about every little girl wants to be that princess. Every little girl wants to be saved by somebody. Every wants to be rescued, wants to be taken care of. Because that's kind of that's the way God designed it. God designed it for the man to take care of us, and in turn we help him.
Yeah.
And so we gotta have that desire in our hearts, but then it gets skewed. It gets skewed into I need somebody to completely save me because I'm helpless.
Yeah.
When really we're not helpless. We have
not at
God.
all.
We have God in our lives, and He can provide.
And that's really all you
need.
All you need.
Yeah.
You know, one a friend of mine who's a single mom who has problems with her getting her ex to kind of step up and take care of her. Because like Leslie, again, she's my ex. If she needs something, you know, I'm there because again, I know she's busting her tail every day, and I'm just kind of so she wants to like if she wants a little bit more money, if she wants whatever, then I you know try to do that because what else do I have to do? You know? I know what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So I think that's where it comes. But then I think like again, you know, men wanting to work so hard, wanting to make something of themselves. I think that gets skewed too. It's more about what kind of status can I have in society as a man.
Sure.
And then that kind of comes along with getting a lot of women, you know, so again, it's like it's both focusing on the wrong thing instead of focusing on God and making this a better place for other people and saving people and, you know.
It's very easy to do. I mean, because even like a guy like me who I'm supposed to be like a Jesus freak, some of my friends are calling me, and then I try to be, and I'm proud of that. But it's easy for me to forget, and I find myself forgetting all the time about what my focus should be on. And the Lord has blessed me a lot, and then I have a tendency, like in my business, and I have a tendency to focus, if I don't watch myself, to focus on those blessings instead of focusing on the Lord.
To further bless somebody else. And it's funny, we were just talking about Maleficent this weekend, or recently, because I just saw it yesterday, and he saw it with Harper, and I think that was a very interesting story, because, I mean, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but she talks about how, or she goes about trusting this man, and believing in true love's kiss, and then it totally changes on her, and he just uses her to kind of get what he wants. Well, then she flips the table, and she curses his daughter, just like the typical Sleeping Beauty story. But then she comes back around, and it's like it signals exactly.
And that's what all these people out in the world. I remember Harper asked me one time, why is there bad people in the world? Why do they do bad things? And it's because they've had bad things done onto them. You know.
And that was exactly that tale. Maleficent would get him back, and he'd try to get her back. But in the end, you know, true love's kiss wasn't a prince. It wasn't the prince that comes along to save you, and I really like that because we grew up with the Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and all these, and this man's gonna come and save us, and, you know. But really, that man is God. Our prince is God, and so I like that the story showed two things: the human element because at the end of the story,
it's easy just to villainize people.
Exactly.
Say they're the villain, and that's it.
And at the end of the story, it said, you know, the hero in this story was a villain, but also a good person, because there's both sides, and we all have both sides.
I believe we were all born to be good. We were all born to worship the Lord, and this world just casts darkness on us, and some of us forget that. And that's what I was going to say about men, is that in society, it's really easy, and we have a tendency just to villainize men. And that's why on the show last week I said, deadbeat dads, don't accept that label. If you've been labeled with that, just Jesus has removed that label from you. And it's easy just to make these guys villains. But let's
and what can we do as women? We can encourage these men. We can pray for them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a single father, ex-baby daddy, or whatever, or father even figure is, you know, doing these things, try to figure out what's the root cause of that. Did he not have a dad in his life? Did he get abused as a child? You know, what's going on there? And then pray over that situation and pray for them and try to do your best to work with them. But just realize that God can do so much more in that man than you can by bashing him, by being bitter, by being negative.
And that's a hard pill to swallow. I can just hear women out there,
Yeah.
pray for my, no, I'm over here busting my butt since he's so irresponsible and you want me to pray for him. That's what we're called to do, is to, when people are, I mean, it's easy to be nice to nice people. It's easy to shine his light when other people are shining light also. But when they are throwing darkness your way and remaining
terrorizing you or stalking
whatever
you,
they're doing,
your new partner.
remaining close to the Lord and loving on them while they're hating on you. That's what we're called to do. That's what a real man, that's what a real Christian warrior is called to do. Yeah.
I agree. I think also, you know, just realizing that every hurt little boy that runs away, I mean, that's what they do. Every hurt little boy that can't handle the situation runs away.
Yeah.
And so again, you know, if they're running away from the situation, they're not there in your life, you know, come to the throne of God with that. I mean, I